Horoscope, astrological forecast for January 2026 for representatives of the sign Aries. January 2026 for you is a time that will not let you relax. This is a month of extremely high concentration of energy. Therefore, starting from January 2-3, we will feel the activation of these powerful energies of 2026. And they are such that it will not be possible to stay on the sidelines here. It will not be possible, so to speak, to go with the flow. January is a month of great work, both external and internal. In January, 10 annual and biennial planetary cycles are activated at once. Therefore, the choices we make this month, our decisions, intentions, ideas, will determine how successful our further life route will be. Most astrological events for your sign will take place in the 10th astro field. This field is the zenith of your horoscope. This is the house that shows our status, shows our goals, ambitions, shows both personal and business status. And this, on the one hand, strengthens our ambitions. Ambitions to achieve, to get, to acquire. And on the other hand, there will be an understanding here that all this is happening not because I want it, but because it is necessary and there is no other way. Therefore, January is indeed a very strong time. Yes, not all people build a career, but this desire to show one's ambitions can find other paths. For example, through the successes and achievements of one's spouse or children, through the ambition to obtain a different social status, for example, to get married or have children, through the ambition to get a diploma, to get some documentary confirmation of one's knowledge, or through the ambition to acquire an item that is an attribute of a certain social level. On the external plane, January is a socially tense time, and there will be reasons for that. And this energy of January and the density of events, all this will only intensify, and February will become the key month of the year. That is, in January, the energies are activated in an increasing manner. They will only intensify towards February. Among the minuses of January for your sign, there may be tense relationships with superiors or with representatives of state and regulatory authorities. And also, you will have a feeling of rejection, of influence from anyone on your own plans. The planet Neptune, which blurs our ideas of what is correct, probable, possible. The planet Neptune in January transits into your sign again and finally, and for you, years of discoveries about yourselves begin. The month is indeed very strong and unique. One cannot be inactive here. Let's discuss in detail the most important astrological events of the month and their influence on your sign step by step. On January 1, the planet Mercury transits into the sign of Capricorn in your 10th astro field. Mercury is thoughts, words, logic, memory, our decisions, and the sign of Capricorn is the sign of traditions, rules. Therefore, this entire period from January 1 to 20 is a time of productive and constructive thinking, a time of rational decisions, a time of a business approach to all issues, and first of all, to issues that concern your work, career, issues related to your documents, and your business reputation. This also shows interaction with people who are older than you, older in age or social position. This is what concerns in general the influence of the planet Mercury, the planet of thinking, logic, memory, on your affairs in the period from January 1 to 20. But specifically on January 1, Mercury will be in a tense aspect relative to the planet Neptune. Therefore, this is a day when attentiveness is needed. Attentiveness to the quality and freshness of food. Attentiveness to your conversations, because here there may be such conversations that we may later regret. This is a time of confusion, and on this day, we may choose the wrong route for ourselves, whatever it concerns. On January 3, the first full moon of 2026 occurs. This full moon is in the sign of Cancer, in your 4th house of the horoscope. The full moon is a moment of completion, culmination, and clarity. And this full moon completes the themes, tasks, plots that became relevant for you or were initiated by you at the end of June 2025. And at the same time, needs are formed here that will grow into specific goals around July 2026. And these are themes related to the 4th astro field. These are issues concerning home, real estate, place of residence, family matters, intrafamily relationships, and the state of affairs of one of your relatives. The 4th house, in which this full moon occurs for your sign, is the house of the moon. This is the house of our subconscious and our experiences. At the psychological level of this full moon period, we suddenly understand how much fatigue, irritation has accumulated inside us. We want heart-to-heart conversations. We want someone to listen to us, and most importantly, to be understood. On January 6, a conjunction of the Sun with the planet Venus occurs in your 10th house of the horoscope, the house of status, career, reputation, the highest astro field of your horoscope. This conjunction begins a whole cycle that will consist of 10 important astrological conjunctions this month. That is, a parade of new cycles begins. And the events and thoughts of this day, goals, intentions, tasks, they may echo the events that were relevant for you in January 2014, 2018, and 2022. Of course, about the importance and globality of this conjunction of the Sun and Venus, it is necessary to make a separate video. This is a big topic, but if briefly, this conjunction begins a new solar Venus cycle. That is, this is a time when our past aspirations, tasks, goals lose their relevance. This is a time when we anew understand what we want from life, what achievements we want. And most importantly, we understand what we like. This conjunction forms an internal need, desire for social growth, desire for recognition, success, desire for advancement in life, in affairs that are visible from the outside. Since this conjunction occurs in the 10th astro field, and this sector shows those achievements of ours by which the people around us evaluate us. And first of all, these themes will be connected for your sign with career, real estate, property, and also with family relationships. But more about this, I will tell in a separate video. On January 8, on this day, a conjunction of the planet Venus and the planet Mars occurs in your 10th house of the horoscope. This is a very important and interesting day, the birthday of new goals, and the day when we decide what actions we are ready to take to achieve our goals. Since Venus symbolizes our desires, our needs, and Mars symbolizes our actions. Therefore, this day is the beginning of a new stage when our needs, our desires acquire specific earthly steps, specific earthly forms, that is, plans. And this, first of all for you, may concern desires related to status in personal life, in work, in career, or it may be related to some major purchases. On January 9, the parade of new cycles continues. On this day, a conjunction of the Sun and the planet Mars occurs. Again, in your 10th house of the horoscope. This day is the beginning of a 2-year cycle of Mars-Sun, that is, a 2-year cycle of activity. This energy gives rise to a need in us to act. To act on the physical plane, for example, to improve our physical condition, to engage in sports, to act to satisfy our need, to achieve something, to act in order to acquire something significant. And since the beginning of this 2-year cycle of Mars and Sun occurs in your 10th astro field, then a need for power, a need to achieve something, a need to control, a need to manage is born here. Whatever it is, this is a day when our new needs are born or realized by us. A day when we understand that I want this, and I will certainly do it. But the birth of these new incentives occurs through the awareness of a deficiency of something. This day gives rise to such a fighting spirit. Also, the events of this day, your decisions, intentions may be related to your relationships with a man significant to you. On this day, you will feel that you are able to protect your interests, and not only protect but also promote them. That is, able to go towards your goals. More about the goals and meanings of this 2-year cycle of Mars-Sun, I will make a separate video. On January 9 and 10, the planets Sun, Mars, Venus will be in a tense aspect of opposition relative to the planet Jupiter, which will affect your 4th and 10th astro field. This is a time that creates tendencies towards immoderation, a tendency to take on more than is needed, more than is easy to bear. And it is good if you really want this, if you are not doing it just to demonstrate your ambitions. These days are a restless time in terms of social unrest. It may be difficult to find some compromise between personal and collective needs. The energy of protest, your protest against influence on your personal affairs and plans from anyone, will awaken here. Also at this time, some new laws, norms, regulations may be adopted or come into force, for example, at your work, which will affect how you conduct your affairs. And the influence of this opposition between three personal planets and the planet Jupiter will be felt until the middle of the month. On January 17, the Sun will be in favorable aspects both relative to the planet Saturn and relative to the planet Uranus. This day will give a feeling of relief after the tense and intense energies of the first half of January. Here lie non-trivial solutions, unexpected paths. This is a day of quick and correct actions. Also, this day, as if brings results, rewards for efforts applied to some process. And this may primarily concern work issues. And on the same day, the planet Venus, which symbolizes all earthly joys and blessings, transits into the space of the sign Aquarius, into your 11th house of the horoscope. And this improves the space of this astro field. Venus in the 11th house improves the process of interaction with groups of people. It contributes to pleasant and effective communication. This is a time when you can return to some collective or social activity. This is a time of pleasant and productive dialogue with your colleagues and like-minded people. Also, this is a time when new acquaintances can occur. Acquaintances, primarily of a business nature. This is a time when useful and necessary information comes. Also, now it will be easier to find a common language with other people, easier to find topics for conversation, and easier to make some joint decisions. On January 18, the first new moon of 2026 occurs. It occurs in the sign of Capricorn, in your 10th astro field, which again symbolizes our status, career, reputation, our position on the social and career ladder. The new moon brings something new. These can be new plans related to work, new powers, a new range of duties. This is a time when we think about something serious, about important matters. This may be a period when you will visit government bodies, authorities, or submit some reports. Meetings with people significant to you may occur here. This may be your superiors. These may be influential clients. Also at this time, you may return to some important project for you that you had put on pause for a while. This may be related, again, to work. It may concern issues of processing any documents or a deal. On January 20, on this day, a conjunction of Venus and the planet Pluto occurs in your 11th house of the horoscope. This is the beginning of the Venus-Pluto cycle. Venus is what we like, what brings us pleasure. Venus symbolizes our tastes and preferences. This applies both to the sphere of relationships and to our preferences and tastes, for example, in food, drinks, or in our style of clothing. And Pluto changes our tastes. For example, if we are talking about style, clothing, then this is a time when we suddenly notice completely new trends in fashion in the world. We notice that much of our wardrobe is no longer so relevant, already outdated. We want some updates. In general, at this time, we want to live differently. We want to live differently, build relationships differently, earn money differently. And this is only the beginning. That is, Pluto changes the functions of Venus. It directs our attention and forms our new needs. About this new cycle of Venus-Pluto, I will probably also make a separate video. This is a big and interesting topic, and it is important to direct this energy correctly. Specifically, this day, January 20, is a day of successful affairs and successful resolution of any tasks, since there will also be a favorable aspect between the planet Mars and Uranus. On January 23, on this day, a new cycle begins, the annual cycle of Sun-Pluto. That is, a conjunction of the Sun and Pluto occurs in your 11th house of the horoscope. The Sun is our self, our external image, our internal core. And Pluto is not just strength, it is power. This is a day when you will think, how can I influence my reality? What tools do I have for this? And also, you will think about what influence on your plans, on your successes in life is exerted by the people who are next to you. Since this conjunction occurs in your 11th house of the horoscope, on this day you may be invited somewhere. Some festive event may take place, someone's birthday, or you may be invited, for example, to a concert. Many on this day will think that it is time to change something. It is time to break out of the usual routine lifestyle, that it is time to create your own future with your own hands. This is a wonderful day for starting new programs. Both programs related to training and work, for launching your new projects, whatever it concerns. On January 26, this is the most important day for you. On this day, the planet Neptune, the lord of the unconscious, the planet Neptune, which symbolizes the matter of our soul, our ideals, our faith. Neptune transits into your sign again, and now finally, and for you, years of discoveries about yourselves begin. Such a transit of Neptune happens only once in a lifetime, and even then not for everyone. It literally blurs our ideas about ourselves, about the world, and about our capabilities. This is an unusual time, and you will undoubtedly expect many discoveries. Those who have lived through this transit know this. Representatives of the sign of Pisces know this now. Since Neptune is something that is difficult to explain in words, that is difficult to put into the form of words, because Neptune is the matter of the soul. More about this, I will, of course, also make a separate video. On January 27, this is another most important day of this month, which launches a 2-year cycle of our development and our transformations. Mars is personal power, and Pluto is collective external force. Mars is a warrior, and Pluto is a whole army. Mars symbolizes our personal influence, and Pluto symbolizes external influence. And our decisions, intentions of this day will depend on the vector we set for this emerging force. In essence, it is on this day that we choose which direction in our life will become a priority for us, through which sphere of life we will develop, through which sphere of life we will go the path of progress. This is a day when we decide how we can act effectively in those external conditions that exist. And since this conjunction occurs in your 11th house of the horoscope, and this is the house of the future, the house of progress, the house of new technologies, the house of revolutionary ideas, then this is a time when you choose what you will learn, through which sphere in your life you will go into the future, how you will build your life further, and what you want to achieve. That is, this is a time when you choose for yourself those tools through which you can transform your reality and create that image of the future that you dream of. That's how, from an astrological point of view, the first month of 2026 will be. Yes, we will all feel its active activation, and one cannot be inactive here, both externally and internally. I wish you a wonderful, successful month, dear Aries.